Hi everyone, today I'm talking about an article that I read on a website that's called Seeking Alpha, and it was talking about Microsoft stock and about Microsoft being overvalued, and I thought this would be a really good, interesting thing to talk about because you don't really see too much negative articles about Microsoft. It's normally a company that's quite loved, and when Microsoft as well is my number one biggest position on the stock market, and I read this article, I thought, right, I better have a look at this, see why it thinks it's overvalued, have a look into it and think, do I need to kind of reassess my position in Microsoft? Is it getting overvalued? Do I need to sell out of my position in Microsoft? And it was only probably 6 months ago, I made a video and say that I believe that Microsoft's going to go to $150 in the next 12 months. Now, I'm going to kind of reassess that and see if my opinion's changed on that after getting stuck into this article and see what's being said in this article right here. So I'm going to go through the article with you just to start with, and then I'll talk about it afterwards. So the article here is someone called Nicholas Ward, who was the person who posted this, and he has a decent amount of following here. You can see he's got 16,000 followers on Seeking Alpha, and if you haven't used Seeking Alpha before, I would have a look because it actually is a really good website with some really great articles on there. Sometimes people can just go in, post articles just for to get some interest, to get some viewing figures on there. So that's something just be careful of, but it's a really good website. So you can see here Microsoft, this $1 trillion company is wonderful indeed, but it's also overvalued. Microsoft is trading at all-time highs and carries a P multiple that the stock hasn't seen in years. CEO Satya Nadella has done an absolute phenomenal job during his time at the helm, yet the company has a fair price. Right now I can't justify paying nearly 30 times for Microsoft shares. So that was kind of I could post a lot more information about the articles, but I kind of went through some of the main points there that was at the top of the article. If you want, go search the article and you'll be able to read it out in full. But the main points kind of see that the price is overvalued compared to the price of what the P is, price to earning ratio, and also there was a point about management, but I'll start with the point about management. The thing that really confused me that is he made a point about management being amazing, and then it was kind of he didn't go anywhere with it. When I read the article, I was like, so he's going to talk about management doing a phenomenal job, and then he didn't say anything so the management has left, so that means it's overvalued because the management they've got in isn't any good. I don't know if he was just trying to fill the article there just to make some points for the sake of it, because he didn't really go anywhere with that. The management at Microsoft is absolutely amazing. They've done an amazing job to turn this company around over the last kind of few years. The revenue growth and EPS growth has been amazing on the company, and he kind of said that, and then it looked like he was going to make a point about something changing, and that might be why you want to sell his stock, but it just didn't go anywhere. So I didn't really see that point. And the other point was about the high PE, and that it's now in the 30p range, which I do agree is slightly high, but at the same time, when you look at a lot of companies in the technology sector, a lot of their PEs are very high. For example, Adobe has a nice growth rate, and it doesn't pay a dividend like Microsoft, and their P is even higher than that. Amazon's P is even higher. Netflix's P is even higher. You could argue they have a little bit more dividend than a little bit higher growth than what Microsoft has. At the same time, you also get a dividend with Microsoft as well. So does that mean it's better than having that little bit extra growth? You could play it that way. But there's also a lot of other technology stocks as well that are trading at a higher PE than what Microsoft is. I could name a lot, but I won't. It's not insanely overpriced right now, as it's been made out at. And also, it said it's at a historic high. Now, that's actually not true, because over the last kind of 2 years, there's definitely been a PE that's been a lot higher from Microsoft, and that's when they made a lot more purchases, buying out other companies. That kind of pushed the P up, so it's actually not at too of a high P, but I understand what it means. But it's nothing crazy. It's a lot better P than a lot of other companies, so yeah, I won't worry about that too much. Obviously, he made the point about management, but I didn't really have understanding where he was going with that in the article. And also in the article, he suggests that you should wait for a 20% to 25% pullback to buy into the stock, which would kind of put you around the $110 entry range into Microsoft. So after reading kind of all this article, I was kind of really, this guy has made this article, and he's basically said that the company's amazing and nothing's changed. Just don't buy at highs, and then invest in the stock on a dip. So it kind of like, it's not that Microsoft is overvalued. It's just that any kind of smart investor would not buy at 52-week highs. I wouldn't buy Microsoft at this price. I'd wait for there's a discount on Microsoft for a pullback and then enter into the stock. That's where I like to enter between the $110 to $90 range. That's where I'd like to buy in at whenever I want to enter into Microsoft, and if it's not there, then I wouldn't normally buy. I think my average in price on Microsoft is somewhere around the 106 mark, something around there. So that's where I would buy as well. So I don't think that the article was even like about Microsoft being overvalued. It's just that don't buy at this price. So I think the article itself was kind of, it basically said how amazing Microsoft was, and it was just to wait on a discount to buy it, and it's not really overvalued. It's just been a kind of intelligent investor. So it was the most pointless article ever, because Microsoft is such a great company. When we look at the dividend growth, it has that to offer. The EPS and sales growth are still, at a 10% growth kind of right now. The balance sheet's amazing. We've got so many growth sectors going on right now. We've got Azure, which is the cloud play. We've got the artificial intelligence. We've got the 365 Office, which is doing well. LinkedIn, which is the Facebook for like professionals. And gaming, we've got a new Xbox console coming out towards the end of next year. So that's going to obviously push sales up again. And that sector's, declined slightly in sales. So hopefully the new console pushes that back up. But yeah, I mean, this article didn't really do anything for me. He just kind of said that it's amazing, but don't buy it 52-week highs. And that's what exactly I say about Microsoft, is don't buy it 52-week highs. Wait for a pullback before you invest into Microsoft. And that's what I'll do. Whenever I see a pullback in the market, that's when I tend to buy shares in Microsoft overall. And like I say, I still believe that in, the next year, my price target on Microsoft is still that it's going to go to $150. So nothing's really changed, guys, and I don't think this article really proved anything, to be honest with you. But I thought I would just update my opinion with you after showing you this article about Microsoft, and that it is not really overvalued. Just buying a pullback, guys. I hope this video helped you if you are looking into Microsoft. We just about across the 300 subscriber mark, guys. So thank you for that. I didn't think we'd get there this year, so thank you so much for all that support. Give the video a like, and I'll see you in the next video.